We back. We back. I told you. I'm doing my very best, sticking to it. We're back. So I kind of just wanted to hop into it today. I don't have too much to say. I do want to tell you guys, I don't know how I missed it. And when I'm filming this, I don't know if it'll be up, but it probably will be. So assume that it's up on my socials. So last episode I was talking about my likes and dislikes, and one of my likes was being outside a lot. Well, I had the opportunity a few weeks ago to go to a farm. My neighbor pet sits, and one of the places she pet sits for is a farm. So she had us tag along, and I helped out on the farm, and it was so fun. I really enjoyed it. And I got to play, literally play with a cow. And I have a video of it. I'm going to assume it is posted on my socials by now. If it's not, it will be, because it has nothing to do with the pod, has nothing to do with the concept of the pod. It is simply just the cutest video I've ever seen. I'm not kidding, this cow was like a dog. He just played like a dog. At one point, he went to, the wrong side of his house, and I literally called him, and I was like, come here, puppy, because he literally, it was the cutest thing I've ever experienced. So please check that out. It has nothing to do with anything. I just think everybody needs to see it. So go look at my socials. It'll be there. But yeah, I'm just gonna get into today's episode, because beyond that very, very important message, I don't really have anything else to say. I hope you enjoyed the last episode. I am very, very happy to be back. It feels very good. Very, once again, therapeutic. So I'm happy to be back in this space. Let's get to it. Today I wanted to talk about my journey to kind of finding my inner power. That sounds so cringe. Oh. I don't know how else to phrase it. But basically just feeling a little bit more empowered. I'm getting there. I am not there yet. But I kind of wanted to share just my thoughts on that and what I've been doing, and would love to hear some feedback from everyone else. Are you on a similar journey? Do you feel something similar? Do you feel like you need to be on a similar journey? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. But yeah, I just, one of the personal things that I was struggling with, and one of the reasons I think subconsciously that I had been gone from doing the podcast for so long, was I just got to a point in my life where I just felt so worn down and just kind of disempowered, and I didn't really feel the need to do anything, and I knew that something was off within me, and I just felt very I don't want to say weak, because it wasn't weak necessarily. It was just, I don't know, it was something along the lines of disempowerment and just feeling very ick. So I've been trying to do things that will change that ick. This is a tangent, but now I said the word ick, so I have to share. So I'm sure the girlies know of the icks and what men do that give them icks. So I have a top 3 that my friend got off a list, and I think they're hilarious and major icks. 1, if he falls over when a wave hits him, ick. Chasing after a ping pong ball, if you're playing beer pong, total ick. And waiting in line, that's an ick, period. Anyway, side tangent, but the girlies know. If you know, you know. But yeah, so basically, let me just get into it. So one of the things I've been trying to embrace a little bit more is my intuition. My personal opinion is that everyone has good intuition because it's your own intuition. And recently I've been finding myself in experiences or situations where I'll read someone and not like read. I'm not like no shade, but just like, I'll be able to read into someone's body language, or maybe just read between the lines a little bit or something like that. And I'll make a call about it, like a judgment call. Not judgment in a way of like I'm judging them, but simply just like noticing it and being like, oh, I think like that's how that feels to me when that person does this or whatever. I'll make a judgment call, but then I'll kind of second guess myself, or I'll be like, okay, well maybe is that me being like pessimistic, or I'll try and I guess like get away from the judgment call I'm making, or try and like not go on my first intuition and first instinct, because whatever, because I won't. And it's happened now on multiple occasions where someone else will come to me after and be like, hey, can I talk to you about something I just experienced with this person or whatever, something like that. And it'll be something similar to how I felt, and I'll be like, oh my god, okay, I kind of felt the same thing, but I thought no one else was picking up on it. I thought maybe I was reading into something that wasn't there. And so my opinion, I think, is that everyone should just read into their trust their intuition a little bit more. Like there's a reason that, at least I think there's a reason that like your gut is telling you what it's telling you, or you're picking up on stuff that you're picking up on. And I don't think it's always 100% right, but I do think you should give yourself the chance of listening to yourself. So that's definitely something I'm trying to work on, because I think like everyone else, I think I have really great intuition, but sometimes I may stifle it because for whatever reason. And I feel like that, again, that just stops you from listening to yourself when you really should be listening to yourself. The big one that I'm really trying to work on, and I am nowhere near perfect on this at all, needing others' approval. Girl, that's like the worst. That's the worst. So I had really low self-esteem for a long time. Like, I'm gonna be honest, my self-esteem has probably only gotten better since I turned 22, which was, let's see, it's September now. August, July, June, like 4 or 5 months ago. Don't you love that I couldn't do that math in my head? Anyways, yeah, like, I'll be honest, my self-esteem has gotten better maybe in the past 6 months. Like, I really was someone who, and as I'm sure a lot of people did, really struggled with my self-esteem. My self-worth was very, very low, and so I really looked for approval and validation in other people, because at the for a long portion of my life, I just wasn't getting it. Well, I wasn't going to get it from myself. I was very mean to myself. Again, I'm sure many people can relate, which is really like I wish you didn't. But yeah, so I have this. It's almost become a habit now, because I'm so used to looking for approval in other people, whether it's my parents or friends or previous partners in the past, or like my current partner or whatever. Like, I've operated in a way where I really looked for that in other people for so long that at this point it's just habitual, that I don't even think about when I'm doing it. I just I know the feeling, like I know the feeling when I'm like really looking for something and I'm not getting it. So I'm really trying to be conscious of that and basically take my power back in that sense, because I am getting to a point now, fortunately, in my life where I feel better about myself, and I know that I'm capable of doing a lot of things. So I am trying to get off automatic and my automatic need to like get validation and approval from other people and find that within myself. It's hard. It's really, really difficult, but I'm working on it, because I'm very tired of like begging for validation from other people. A, there's no point in it, and B, if you don't get it, then you feel like shit. So it's like, why, I'm also trying to find my own like hobbies. I think this is one that I'm doing better at than the others on the list. Like something like this spirituality aspect of myself now. No one in my family, like my immediate family, is into that. That's something all my own, and I've really embraced that. I think even something like that, for a while I was looking for approval from other people, but it's like you're not going to get approval from other people who like don't understand it or don't resonate with it, and like that's the whole point. So I'm definitely embracing that a little bit more, of just finding my own things that I'm into and really claiming them, and not, I don't need to do what everyone else is doing, because again, I think that was another like habitual, another thing that turned into like a habitual practice of mine, because I had no self-esteem, so I just wanted to do whatever the cool people were doing, or whatever, the people who were like the most popular, whatever. I just wanted to do what the people were doing, because I did not have an original thought. So I'm really embracing like, the aspects about me that are me, or the things that I do that maybe no one else in my life is into, or not many people get it. Instead of feeling judged by it, or instead of feeling like, being like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, I'm feeling a lot more like, yeah, that's cool, that may not work for you, but like it works for me, type of thing. Which again is, I don't think, something I could have said even like 6 months ago. So that's been really fun and interesting to figure out, and like, figure out like what, like, I'm taking up gardening. I'm 22. I feel like that's maybe like, uh uh I don't know, to me I think older women, I think, maybe I'm just stereotyping. Never mind. Scratch that. But like, yeah, no one else in my life is gardening. You know what I mean? Like, but it's just like random, and I'm like, well, I want to do it. Um, and then lastly, and I think this is a big one, and I think this is one that everyone can basically embrace. Um, I'm being kinder to myself. Um, Again, it's a struggle. I think anybody who has had any experience, I think everyone, but especially people who have struggled with low self-esteem and low self-worth, like, how mean we can be to ourselves, and it's not fair, it's not nice. And so I am really trying to give myself grace, ha ha ha. um but I am really trying to be kinder to myself, and just, like, when I need a break, I need a break. If I'm not the most productive that day, then I'm not the most productive that day. Like, it's really not the end of the world. And I also think this is for me. This is how it resonates for me. I don't think this for other people. But that, I think, is the one thing that for me ends up making me feel weak. And that's like a trigger for me. Like, I never want to feel like disempowered to the point of weakness, because I don't feel like that's like who I am intrinsically. And I feel like when I like belittle myself in that way, and like talk down to myself, and I'm just constantly like bashing myself, like that's where that headspace of, oh, I can't do anything, or oh, I'm not capable, or I'm just this, or I'm just that, like that weak mindset, that's how for me it gets planted, is when I'm like really mean to myself. And so it's like, okay, why would you do something that like intrinsically doesn't align with how you feel, like really deep down, like, I know I'm not weak, I know that I'm like, I'm a go-getter, I can do it. So like, why do something that doesn't align with that? Now again, working on it, I think I am leaps and bounds ahead of who I was even a year ago. But yeah, I've just been thinking about kind of this concept a lot, of just like, really stepping into your power almost, and really just stepping into like, the embracing the strength that you have, rather than just focusing on all the like the shit that doesn't work, or the shit that isn't good for you or whatever. Like, just being like, okay, well, what can I do to step into my power? What can I do to embrace this positive aspect of me? yeah, I've done a lot of thinking about that in general. I'm sure there will be more episodes about that coming soon. But that's all I got. That is all I got. So make sure you do all the things. Follow me on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Rate the podcast if you like it. If you didn't like it, don't rate it. Doesn't help me. I say that so like I don't mean that to be like I'm not an asshole. I'm just you can rate it if you want. In a mean way. I just prefer if you didn't. Let's see. Feel free to email me about anything, everything. My email is scared20something@gmail.com. See me on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok. That's it. I thought I had another one, but no, I don't. This is Editing Grace. Pause. I do have another social. Don't listen to her. She doesn't know what she's talking about. I'm also on YouTube at Scared20something. Okay, continue. At Scared20something. And I'll see you all on the next one. Later.